Hi guys, welcome back to another video by Jed Skeptic Media. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. This is a comment response video to my last Ancestry DNA video. I've had a brilliant response to it. I've had 4.2 thousand views and over 160 comments, so I have to make a comment response because there's just so many good ones. And there's kind of mixed feelings within those comments. Some people are happy with the new update. Some people are disappointed. Some people are both. Some people are disappointed with the new results, that they weren't as exotic as they thought they were, but they're happier it matches more with what they've been told in their family tree. So, with me, I was a bit disappointed they took away my Caucasus region. It made me, I thought it was a wee bit more exotic than just a Celt. Well, it looks like I'm just a full-blown Celt nearly, 88%. But before, they had me only as 55%, and they had the 3% Caucasus, and this is what made me 97% European. I always thought I was a full-blown European white guy. Look at me, come on. So when I seen I was a wee bit Caucasus, I thought it was good. But they've taken that away, and I still don't understand, because with the rest of it, I understand it all overlaps each other. I'll give you a little look at my old results again. Right guys, as we can see here, I was 53% Ireland, Scotland and Wales. I was 34% Great Britain. I was 9% Europe West. I was 3% Caucasus. 1% Iberian Peninsula, less than 1% European South, and less than 1% Scandinavian. So, when I got my new results, of 88% Ireland and Scotland, well, that kind of made sense, because my Great Britain part, the 30-odd% I had in my previous results, overlapped the Scotland and Ireland, and the Western European part overlapped the British part. So I think the Western European part is more defined now, like they've defined it as France now. And I think because it overlapped a lot of Britain, a lot of those genetics were obviously getting mixed up with the Irish genetics as well, and the British genetics. So I can see the overlapping. So, for instance, guys, my new update is 88% Ireland and Scotland, 8% England, North, West Europe, and 4% France, which means that future updates I could be 100% Ireland and Scotland, because the French part overlaps the England and Wales and North Western Europe part, and the England, Wales, North Western Europe part overlaps the Ireland Scotland part. So really, I could be 100% Ireland and Scotland, or I could be 70% Ireland and Scotland, and another 10% could go to England and Wales and North Western Europe in the future, or France. But because these all overlap each other on the map, on the DNA map, it kind of makes sense. You've got to give a little room. It's a bit like a virus, and try to track the virus or the disease down to its epicenter. Like it's like you've got to find the epicenter, the starting point. And because this is a new science still, the DNA stuff, and they've got a lot more tests through the updates, they're becoming to be more specific. Instead of just Western Europe, they're now being more specific with the French part. But still, it doesn't make sense how they could get the Caucasus part, which is away over in Georgia, and beside all the stands, Uzbekistan and all these places. I don't know how they got that part wrong. Maybe blood types are similar in that area to the British. Maybe because there's some kind of connection between these areas, it's harder to define them. But to me, it kind of makes sense now. It makes more sense through my family tree, because I've never known anybody that was from the Caucasus or from West Asia, my family. So it does make sense why they've taken it away. But there's another question to be asked here. Could these DNA results be generated by just looking through records. By just looking through records, and even by looking at faces. Like maybe going on Facebook and looking at face types. Because every face type, again, it's like a fingerprint. Everyone's face type knows like features. There's certain features that only certain races have. Like the fold in the eye for the Chinese. Or the black skin for Africans. Or the long features of Northern Europeans. Maybe DNA, Ancestry DNA could go to Facebook and work out your genetics just by looking at your face and just by looking at the records, because they have access to all the records, all the war records, all the you have to pay for these. So maybe this is a big scam, guys. I'm not saying 100%, but maybe it could be. Because there's a lot of disgruntled people out there. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the comments that I've had, because they've been really good. And like I said, a lot of areas overlap. So I'll try and explain this through the comments, why certain people's DNA has changed. And I think I see the pattern myself. So give us a second. I'll go and get the comments. And like I said, guys, it's been a brilliant response. 4.3 thousand views. I've gave myself a wee like, but 64 likes, 2 dislikes. For a long time there, it was no dislikes. But I'll go through some of the comments. This is James Mitchell, an hour ago. Don't these DNA tests prove the validity of race? I've had my DNA tested with 3 different companies: Ancestry, 23andMe, Family Tree DNA. My ethnicity results were different for all 3, but I came back 99%, 99.6% and 100% European on the 3 tests. Well, what I get from that comment is that you're obviously a white guy. It's similar with me. Maybe they looked at me and thought, well, he's white, but there could be something exotic there with the dark eyes and something. And maybe they've tried to make a guess of Asian, West Asian. Let's have a look at some people's results. Right, this is Nicole Bailey. Her original results were 45% Europe West, 33% Scandinavian, 14% Great British, 5% Ireland, and 3% Iberian Peninsula. Well, now, guys, this Europe West part here doesn't exist. They defined it more French, so she's going to have either German, French, in our new results, instead of just Europe West. Maybe even some Britain will be divided up in that 45%. So updated version is 78% United Kingdom, which makes a difference from, well, you've got 14% Great Britain there and 5% Ireland. Right, throw them together, there's roughly 20% already. In the Europe West, if you throw that in the mix, well, there you've got 65%. Because the Europe West could be the Great British genes. And even some of the Scandinavian percentage overlaps the British genes. So this all kind of makes sense because they all overlap each other. And they're just defining it more. Like they've now got France and Germanic Europe. Obviously, they're less Scandinavian than they thought, but this Scandinavian genetics mixes with United Kingdom in the old one. So they're managing to separate it. JOT here. You see, I wish I could get the new update to see what's majorly changed. My current results are Great Britain 24%, Europe West 10%, Mali 9%, Ivory Coast Ghana 8%, Benin Togo 7%, Cameroon, Congo 7%, African Southeastern Bantu 6%, Caucasus 5%, Finland, North West Russia 4%, Iberian Peninsula 4%, Nigeria 4%, Scandinavia 4%, Ireland, Scotland, Wales 3%, Europe South 2%, Native American 1%, Senegal 1%, African South Central hunter-gatherers less than 1%. So this just shows you the mix and this guy, and I think I'm just going to make a prediction for his update. Because he's Great Britain and the Europe West here, the Great Britain, Europe West, and the Ireland, Scotland and Wales and the Scandinavia here, This makes 7. Add it to the Great British, that's over 30. Europe West is 10. So I would easily say that your results, JOT or JOT, could turn into 50%, close to 50% Great British, because all those overlap each other. Or it could turn 30% Great British and 15% European West, but that won't be European West, that'll be French, German, something like that. So I think you'll be more defined with the update. This Europe West will either be France, Germany, or they'll just add it to the Great Britain along with the Ireland, Scotland and Wales part, and Scandinavian, in fact. The Iberian Peninsula too. The Europe West kind of overlaps that part. So, but I think that's gone as well, the Southern European. But I predict that because he's got a big part of Europe West, Great Britain, Ireland, I think there's a good chance GOT you could be 45% British and then the rest could be African. I'm not really sure about all the Malis, Ivory Coast, Benin, Togos, the Cameroon. I've not seen enough results to see how much those genetics overlap. Beth Hagen, there is a reason the low confidence estimates are called low confidence areas. A lot of people get all worked up about trace amounts of DNA and assume that it means more than Ancestry says it means. Every one of these estimates also has a range. They test your sample 12 times and it comes out a little different every time. Then they give you the range and the average, but most people only read the average amounts and they act like they are definite even when it's in a low confidence range, and that's true. But I think Ancestry DNA have obviously exaggerated how accurate they are, because they're still a developing science, and if they just said that, guys, we'll give you your DNA results, but they might not be accurate 100%, they might even be 70% accurate, but we're still working on it, and in the future we're going to nail it so we can get it 90% accurate. But right away they're telling you they can tell you this, they can tell you that. So people do get worked up and think even small amounts are significant. Right, here's Nicholas Svever. Mine's drastically changed as well. I became a lot less diverse. The previous one was 38% Caucasus, Asia East 30%, Polynesia 15%, Asia South 10%, Europe South 2%. New, Iran 49%, and this is where, guys, I think the Caucasus genetics floats around in. It floats around in the Iranian genetics, this Caucasus genetics, because as you see there, the Caucasus is 38. The Iranians practically just taken over the Caucasus part, and the Philippines and Guam part is the East Asia, and the Asia South. East Asia and Asia South, that's the new Philippines, Guam, and the Europe South and Middle East are gone now. They're just gone. Kenzie, original results, Great Britain 38%, Scandinavia 30%, Europe West 19%, Ireland 6%, with low confidence regions of Caucasus 3, Russia 2, Italy 1, less than 1, Europe East less than 1. This is now my updated results. Norway 46%. So Scandinavia, they've managed to define the Scandinavian part, and I would say the Finland part would probably come into that as well to bulk up the Scandinavian part. So that's 32, and even the Europe West could be part of the new 46% Norway, because they all overlap each other. And this is where I understand it. I understand when genetics overlap, it could be either or either. But when you've got a trace region or like 4%, 3-4% is quite high out of 100% to have in Africa or have in Asia or something, somewhere like that. And for it not to be there at all. I understand with the European stuff, like if a European part disappears, I would understand because it maybe overlaps another European part, but to have an East Asian part just disappear completely, I think it's strange, and obviously they were way off base when they came to the accuracy of these genetics. They've obviously nailed the Caucasus as Iran now. Zach Hansen, mine hasn't updated, I'm kind of mad, lol. Did you get any type of notification it was updated, or just clicked on the update part? Yep, I just went back to my site, my D.N.A. Ancestry site, and there was a new part that said update results, and I clicked it. And you can still check your old ones, so don't be hesitant about updating, because you still get to see your old ones to compare. Amy Lee's original was Europe East 35%, Europe South 26%, England, Scotland, Wales 18%, Great Britain 11%, Europe West 4%, Scandinavian 2%, European Jewish 1%, Melanesian less than 1%, Iberian less than 1%, Asia Central less than 1%. So now it is Europe East and Russia 35%, which has not changed much from that part. Ireland and Scotland 34%. What they've done there is, because the Great British genes overlapped the Irish genes, that's turned into 29% if you add those two together. Add to the European West as well, where you've got over 30%. So this is Ireland, Scotland, Great Britain and Europe West, probably all clump into that part. Europe West is probably a part of the Germanic Europe. Same with the, probably take bits of Europe South and bits of Europe East for the Germanic part. But nothing unusual. Mind you, Sardinia, that's in Baltic states. I suppose the European Jewish might fall into that side. My mother is Anglo-Australian and my dad is Serbian, with original results being almost half Europe South, half Europe East. I'm thinking that my Europe South going down from 26 to Greece and the Balkan 7 is not accurate, considering my dad is from the Balkans, Serbia. So seems to be now overrepresenting my mother's Celtic and I guess Germanic side. I do have the European East from my dad, but the 7% Balkans is a bit low and around double the Irish. Could be correct, my Australian mother seems to have some family lines traced to Ireland, and we have the genetic community of Ulster. That's interesting. Bronnie M says, my percentages more closely match my family tree. I was disappointed in the changes. I went from 28% Western Europe to only 2% France, and I completely lost the 7% Iberian Peninsula. Only more accurate until they do another software update. And like I said, guys, my one right now could easily change. I'm 88% Ireland, Scotland, 8% North West England, Wales and Northwestern Europe, and 4% France. But because they all overlap each other, the France could be absorbed into the England, Wales and Northwestern Europe part, so that could turn into 12%, and that could be 88%, or the whole lot could be absorbed into the Ireland and Scotland part, so it could be 100%. So with this, it's still not definite. I'll be interested to see the next couple of updates. But if you've got them overlapping, don't be surprised if one gets absorbed into another. Certain countries, like if you go like Europe West, if that disappears and goes into Britain, don't be surprised because they all overlap each other. Like I said, I don't understand how you can have West Asian not overlapping anything like that and still. I don't get that part. If anyone can help me out there. Mine too updated. I was 89% Irish, Scottish and Welsh, 5% British, 2% Finland and Northwest Russian, 2% West Europe and 2 South Asia. Now after update I'm 100% Ireland and Scotland. Very confused. Loved feeling a bit more of a mix. Jeez. Well, like I said, because all of those overlap, you're 89% Irish, you're 5% British, and you're Finland and Northwest Russian, like these Scandinavian area overlaps the British, and same with the West Europe. The South Asia, like I said, again, I'm not sure about that. I don't know why certain Europeans have this Asian element to it. Although they don't overlap, like Iran doesn't overlap France or anywhere in Western Europe or even Eastern Europe. Right, Heather Hodgepodge. I went from 5% Great Britain to 90% England and Wales. How does that happen? Well, you obviously had a high, it's probable that you had a high Ireland and Scotland and Western Europe. If you had a high Western Europe part and high Ireland and Scotland part, this could easily turn into 90% England and Wales. Easily, because they all overlap each other. Do I have to redo my DNA test to get an update results? No, Michael Journey, you don't. You just keep going back and checking it out. Thomas Lally. Original results: Great Britain 42%, Ireland, Scotland, Wales 29%, Europe West 25%, Scandinavia 4%. So the new update is England and Wales 53%, which kind of isn't a big surprise when you've got 42% Great Britain there. Ireland and Scotland 47%. Well, there's Ireland and Scotland with a 29. And the Europe West and the Scandinavia has just been split between the Great Britain and Scotland. This is what I'm saying, because they all overlap, and you never know. Thomas Lally, a future update could make you 70% England and Wales and 30% Scotland and Ireland, or vice versa. Makes more sense, but I was almost thinking I had French or German cousin. I've got the wee bit of French there. I'm not getting attached to the French yet, because that could disappear. That could just get absorbed into the England and Wales genetics. Cat Earth. So Alex is here. You know they're going to replace you with a clone now that you gave your DNA to the New World Order. And that's a good point, that a lot of people are wary of giving up their DNA to Ancestry because they're suspicious. But to me, if they want to make clones of me running about, I find that quite appealing, to be honest. Right, so we have Stefan Moore here. Well, I'm almost half German in descent. In my update, it says I'm now 45% West and Northwest Europe, which is most likely the German, and trace amounts of Dutch, 32%, Great Britain, including Scots-Irish, but mostly Scotland, 8%, Scandinavian, Swedish, Europe East, Polish, and trace amounts of Serbian, French 1%, Greek, and 1% African. The new update is much more accurate to what I was told by my grandparents. The previous results said I was mostly Scandinavian, which makes little sense because I only have a couple of Swedish ancestors. But I learned my German DNA could have been traced to Scandinavia, East Europe, which were my main two areas in my previous results. Like I said, a lot of these Scandinavian genetics overlap the Germanic genetics. Right. So LYS says here, Asia East 39%, Asia Central 12%, Ireland 23%, Europe West 10%, Scandinavia 9%, trace regions Iberia Peninsula and Great Britain. Iberian Peninsula, if you don't know guys, is Spain and Portugal. Polynesia 5%, updated results, Asia East 50%, so that makes sense because you have 39% Asia East there, which has absorbed the Central Asia. So that now puts you up to 51%. And here it's 50%, so that kind of makes sense. And we have Ireland, Europe West and Scandinavia. So England and Wales, which wasn't here before, but the Europe West was probably hiding as England and Wales. Or even the Irish part could have been the England-Wales part that they were getting mixed up with. Ireland and Scotland, 23%. So this is the Ireland. So this is where the Ireland-Scotland part comes from. In the Europe West, in the Scandinavian, this is the England and Wales part. So this makes more sense. It's just more defined. So you have the East Asia, your old one was 39%. It makes sense because if you add East Asia to the Central Asia part, you get roughly 50%. The Irish part, 23%, Ireland and Scotland, 24%. That makes sense. And England and Wales, well, that's this part here, that England and Wales has been absorbed. The Europe West and Scandinavia. See, the Europe West could be France, could be Britain, could be England, could be Wales. Could be even Scandinavia, but they've defined it more. Anyway, guys, I can't go through all the comments because there's so many. I just want to thank everybody for taking part in the comments. And please have a look yourself and have the discussion. This isn't sponsored by Ancestry, this video. In fact, there's been a lot of criticism here on this channel about Ancestry and how accurate they are. But I think they're pretty accurate. But the big question is got to be asked: could Ancestry get these results without your DNA? The fact that you give them your DNA, it kind of gives them permission just to poke about your whole history. They could look into your Facebook. They could look at all your records, all your ancestors, and probably build up a picture of your genetic history or chronology. Anyway, guys, I just want to thank everybody for the great feedback on the last video, and I hope you take some value at this one. Thanks very much, guys. Have a nice weekend.